laser just disappeared. Other side?
Behind you. Look down.
That didn't happen. Oh, and that's the one you recorded?
Welcome to The Anomaly, the contradistinct, uncensored, unmonetizable, and deemed unwatchable by the mainstream masses. We are the ones they cannot control and attempt to hold back, but together we form revolution. The Ramborgia. Welcome to John Rambo Presents The Show, STAYBALLSY. Don't take any shit from anyone.
So when I was 10 years old, I went to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and I had a shoe fly pie. So for the last couple of years, I've attempted to make my own shoe fly pies on Thanksgiving. Not because I like the pie, but because I've never actually seen this pie available anywhere else around here in this area. So I've created a pie again this year. Here's the photo. There you go. Karl, do you know anything about this type of pie, the shoe fly pie?
I know very much about the shoe fly pie, being originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and having a local farmer's market within my hometown. I have to say, I think you nailed it, sir.
So you know all about this. This is amazing that things just kind of worked out this way. We have an expert here with us on this. Is this a pie you like?
I like it. I tend to like the tardiness of my fruit pies, but a shoe fly well done is like almost like an icebox chocolate pudding cake or pie, and it goes really well with just after any hot meal.
Okay, so I made two pies, and the first one seemed to be a little underdone. Like it was very loose and liquidy. And the other one was more hard and maybe overcooked a bit. So what is it supposed to be? Like I don't even know what it is supposed to be, and I give it to people to try it, and everyone's just like, I never had this pie before, so I can't actually tell you what it's supposed to be like.
You want the consistency of a Jell-O pudding cup. You kind of want that in a nice flaky pie crust. You want that pie crust to kind of crumble and always be on the verge of absolutely crumbling to just the bottom of a cereal bag.
Okay, interesting. So I made this pie. I didn't know what to do with these pies. John here was in the area for Thanksgiving. He came over on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I was force-feeding him this pie.
You weren't force-feeding me the pie. It's pie. You don't need to force me. It's pie.
I was gonna say, I mean...
Well, you looked a little disgusted. I took the pies out, and I was trying to... I had the one that was maybe a little too overdone. I was trying to cut the piece, and it's just like impossible to cut. And there's stuff flying everywhere, and the look on his face was, this goes in my body.
Yeah. I mean, smaller the better, because ideally you would go at it with a spoon.
Okay, wow. All right. So, John, what did you think of the pie? What's your review here? You're going to put this on Yelp, maybe?
Does not resemble the one Karl described, but the one you described making first matched Karl's description.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think after the first one, my guess is you got self-conscious and overcooked it, but it was still delicious.
So you enjoyed the pie, John?
Yeah, it's pie.
All right, well...
Yes, it was actually really good. The taste, and with a little bit of whipped cream on top, like the flavors just kind of exploded. It was great.
Well, John, if you liked it, I got two pies here for you that I can't keep down, so you're going to have to take them off my hands. So, Karl, you're kind of from that, you're kind of from that area, the Lancaster?
Well, I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is right across the Newtown, New Hope area, right across the Delaware River from Trenton. And like I always said about Bucks County, it's just red enough to give the Blues a fighting chance. Like for me to get out and get a degree in dramatic writing. So Lancaster is only at most a 2-hour drive west on the Turnpike. And since all roads outside of Philly lead you to the Turnpike to head west, you do eventually hit past King of Prussia into the Lancaster area, which is a massive county. It's a vast majority of southern Pennsylvania, and basically it's your only hint of civilization until you hit State College in the middle, which is your only gas-up point before you hit the lovely city of Pittsburgh. So it's always been very easy to get farmers markets from the weekend, like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They would take over their place, their barn in Newtown, which right after I graduated from college, I worked behind the front desk of a center club, which was our local spin and gym venue. So I could just go right next door Thursdays and Fridays for my lunch and just pig out there. They did
Shoe fly pies all day.
Yes, they did. They had that in Zook's Bakery, and they had something that I nominated for president the other day. They've experimented. They have a bacon and scrambled egg wrapped in a pretzel dough and baked through it. So you get the saltiness and the mouth that is a pretzel. You bite into that salty smokiness of the bacon, then there's cheese, then there's egg. It's like, why don't you run for president? You're clearly the superior candidate here. You're all American made. You are just as good for our health future and our healthcare future as I think anyone else running at this point.
Yeah, probably. I think
The difference is you're a lot easier to swallow.
Oh, I see. Do you have any interactions, any stories with the Amish folks or maybe some tourists in the Hershey area? Anything like that?
To be honest, the ones that end up just working at the yard sales or the flea markets, they're just very generous and very professional. The best experience was April this year for the first time. I took my father to the Spring Gulch Music Festival, which is right off a little bit, I want to say, northeast of Lancaster, to see some of our favorite folk bands play. And we finally got stuck behind and at least one person who goes to ZenkaiCon a year will get stuck behind someone in a buggy that has little electric blinkers, and it ends up being this short distance of the road, because you can't have a horse just on the road where you're going to have cars going 30 miles an hour. They slow down to 20, but as long as it takes you to be inconvenienced and recognize just the weird novelty of this experience, you're already done. They're already off the road. Oh, nope, someone's got a refill on their electric propane tank. Did he have a horse? Was the horse pulling that? Oh, never mind, we're already done. We're off. Guys, look back. There's a horse, right? I'm not mistaken. That's a 1 horsepower carriage. Man, this thing's got 150, and it's a Prius.
Yeah, but dude, that 1 horsepower, carriage, I mean, the thing that really gets it going is the electric starter.
It's quite literal, yeah. I mean, at least with a horse, you don't have to necessarily turn a key. You know that it's not going to get flooded that often. You can normally just kind of hit it.
I wish you could like whip your car, kick your car into doing things. That'd be really awesome. I would love to do it. Just abuse it. But I really like that area there. I'd like to go back actually, but I really recommend anyone anywhere if you have time. Head to Lancaster, man. It's really a magical place.
During the spring and during the fall, Pennsylvania, just like New England, is gorgeous during the fall seasons.
Okay.
Before the weather hits, either pair.
I mean, I do have one really memorable Amish story. It's not mine per se.
It's
but
okay.
It is a story within a story, which are some of my favorites.
Yes, go ahead, please.
A creative sociopath that everyone should eventually interact with is a man named Dan Comstock from Connecticut. Pirate Dan, we grew up knowing him. He ran the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week LARP on SUNY Purchase campus, Tales of the Dreaming. If you had a white armband on, you were playing his game. In addition, Dan DM'd a whole lot of other New England LARPs, such as Nero. I think there's another one that he's running right now, Arcadia, or one of those generic magical names. Dan was on a farm playing his LARP, so he's in full chainmail. He's got the boffer two-handed, and he is being chased by another group. He runs off into a cornfield. Anyone who grew up in the 80s and is familiar with the works of Stephen King knows this is a bad idea. He hides in the cornfield for everyone else to lose track of his character, and they wander back. Dan doesn't want to take that risk. Even though he can just go back to camp, he doesn't want to take that risk. He also gets lost in the corn maze. The sun goes down. Dan no longer knows where he is in the middle of the woods, because once you leave the campsite that he was at, there's nothing. There's no civilization. He wanders and eventually finds, in the dead of night, this cabin. This actual log, like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village cabin. He's in full chainmail, a tabard. He's face painted to look like an orc, holding his two-handed, and he knocks on the door. And this woman in a nightgown, like out of a Charles Dickens story, holding a candle, opens the door, and Dan suddenly thinks and asks out loud, "What bizarre LARP have I wandered into? Is this DLC? Did I pay extra? Did I stumble into the VIP room? Do I talk to her in character?" And his only response is, "Hi, I'm lost." And she goes, "Yeah, you're from the camp. Okay." So he spends the night, and the next morning, Jebediah, her brother, drives him back to the campsite in full horse and buggy, to which he steps down triumphantly from the buggy in front of all of his friends who think he is in the woods dead, because you do not sleep outside in chainmail overnight. I'm told you lose a lot of penalties to Constitution. He steps down. "I have met and befriended the natives."
I like it. I think that's in my future. I'm going to join the Amish people, maybe. That's my true calling.
I was wondering if, he was going to, go up there and say, "Oh, come on, you guys went back 100 years? I went back 600 years. Deal with it."
So, John, tell us about your Thanksgiving. Did you have a good time?
It was good.
How
It was
are you
really
doing?
quiet. My sister was out in the wilds of California, so it was just my mom, my dad, and I. And us being us, we didn't feel like cooking. None of us felt like cooking, so my parents, we ordered food from Stu Leonard's, but the smallest turkey you can get feeds 8 people. So 8 to 10 people, actually. So what was funny is that we got all our food except for a few side dishes pre-made by this grocery store, Stu Leonard's, world's largest dairy store, blah, blah, blah. And even so, we still had to spend 2.5 hours cooking, which I did not understand. We bought everyththing from the grocery store, but
Just microwave it,
still,
just put it in a dish, preheat the damn oven. No,
it was take the turkey, preheat the oven, put the turkey in the oven for an hour and a half, then for another hour, baste it every 30 minutes. I'm like, what did we pay you for? Yeah, and then all the other sides
do the
cook
work
in the oven
for
while the
us.
turkey's in there.
They should have some of Stu Leonard's animatronics maybe cook the food or prepare it for you, and you just pick it up from them. Something like
Those
that.
things are worse than Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, at least they stop after they catch you.
Jim, why don't you get to the good part of Thanksgiving where I came over and all that? Come on, man.
Oh, right, yeah. You and your girlfriend came over to say hi, and my parents' dog went nuts, as usual, but since he weighs 2 pounds, it wasn't really dangerous. Yeah, you guys came over and said hi. You told me about the pie. You got my interest piqued in the pie. And yeah, you guys hung out for a little bit, and I don't remember what else happened on Thursday.
It was cool coming to your place and hanging out with your parents a little bit. It was interesting because when you're a kid, the adults treat you a certain way, your parents would talk to you a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, I guess I'm kind of an adult, not exactly, but your dad was talking to me like we're friends or so. "Oh, John, how are you?" It was kind of, it's very weird to have that thing kind of switch, That's, yes.
I'm getting to an interesting age, especially with my family. For a while after my parents divorced, it took me some time to see my dad as an authoritative figure because I didn't really grow up with him. And now that I'm in my 30s, he's in his mid 60s. We just have a much more mutual understanding as a friendship. What's interesting to me is really getting to know my mother, because living outside of the house, it's not like I'm with her day to day. She's not telling me to clean up. I'm not telling her you can't tell me what to do anymore. Now it's just sort of I feel like doing the things that she suggests, and it's a neat part of Thanksgiving because now the kids are adults and 2 of us have kids. So, but one of them is 15 and one is 6 months, so you can't put the 2 of them at their own table yet. And I'm of a generation where everyone within my cousins, we were all born within 6 years of each other. So the Trickies, the Majewskis, the Custers, and the Paxtons, we were all at one table and we grew up with it. There wasn't much of an age difference. So we had that suburban post-baby boomer 80s Thanksgiving, where there is the adult table, the Fisher-Price table from outside. It's fine. They hit it with the Windex. It's clean. It's clean. Pick up the turkey. We spent all day on it. Yes, it should taste like that. It tastes like labor. It tastes like cleanliness. Put it in your mouth. That was a flashback I didn't deserve. But now we're all at the same table. We're all at the adult table.
Everyone's equal now.
It's a fascinating transition.
Yeah, it's kind of alarming a little bit. That's how you know you're an adult. You're supposed to do certain things, and it's a bummer, really.
No, I think my first time at the adult table for Thanksgiving, it was at my cousin's house. Like, I mean, at the regular Thanksgiving, I think we only had one table, but here there's so many people we had to have like a kids table and adults table. This was, I don't remember how many years ago, but there had been some commercial which had like M&M's characters trying to say words that sound dirty but aren't. I don't remember if I've even told this story here before, but so I tried to say masticate, as in to chew.
You told us last week, actually.
Yeah, I said it last time.
You told about this last week, yeah.
Yeah, last week. But the thing is, this was that happened the first time we were at the adults table, which I did not remember that detail then.
It's a lot of pressure being invited to the adult table.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to live up, try to come up with some interesting conversation.
Use big words.
And you blew it.
Yeah, I did. And then I blew it again by forgetting I mentioned it last week.
You went to the adult table, the first thing you say is, I just masturbated? Is that what you're telling us right now?
That's not what I said. I was trying to describe the commercial and trying to say masticate, and it didn't work.
Yeah. All right, well, there you go.
Competitive food eaters are the first professional masticators. They do it on television, and they do it just fine.
I like it. We all like to watch.
That would have been better.
So there you go, my friends. Welcome to the show. My name is John. I am joined by OJ. And returning to the program, that's right, Jeff Reagan, Uncle Yo, Karl Custer is here.
I actually, I think I have the majority of the Jeff Reagan costume next to me in the closet. So that's awesome.
Holding on to that stuff, huh?
After a while, just the trauma sets in. And after a while, I wouldn't take either of the sunglasses out of the jacket. So when I just put it on once because it was cold, I was surprised at all the weird props I was finding within it. Like, we thought Kat lost the silk flowers. I thought I had lost her silk flowers because all the Jeff Reagan props you see, I borrow from my Lolita fiance without telling her until the episode premieres. It's like you're helping me in my life, honey.
Not the warmest costume, is it? Temperature-wise. I was thinking about this the other day because it was December 1st. And I remember December 1st is when we filmed outside one time. And there was a little bit of a miscommunication where I didn't really tell you we were outside for like 9 hours. And I show up and you're like, wearing your normal stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're going outside. It's like, it was a very cold day. It just happened to be. And yeah, there's some tough times there, I think.
Without an undershirt, I mean, it is one of the... what happens with low-budget filming is eventually, if nothing else, even if it tanks, you have an amazing story to walk away from. Like, remember the time we tried to film the final fight in the rain, and the Shaw's jelly just stayed in my hair, and I had to explain it to the MTA people on the ride back that, no, I had not just been come upon by the entire Blue Man group.
Oh!
It was a Smurf.
That's awesome, man.
That's wrong. A tall pile of Smurfs to read. Never mind.
That's what we were going for, actually, so it worked out well.
Hey, John, we're all the same heights on our back. I'll tell you right now.
Right. So, apparently there's some kind of mic issue we're having here where these guys are telling me I sound like really horrible to them, so hopefully the recording will be okay, but I apologize. I'm a little self-conscious about this right now. I'm like, I don't know what volume I should be talking at. I don't know if I should be speaking at all here.
Well, we had said right before recording, and thankfully OJ had recorded a little bit of it. So the folks watching the episode just hear you normally, Rambo. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
We hear a Cyberman and a Dalek getting into a menage a trois, like an Eiffel Tower with Marge Simpson in the center. There's something robotic, there's something choppy behind it, but there's also that digital scream that just tells you a puppy has been pained.
We like to push you through pain, Karl. That's what I'm saying. We put you in the cold. I'm basically just trying to torture you. It's what all I'm doing here is by inviting you onto things. It seems like it's a nice thing, but it's really not. I don't know. I think the mic is dead after. I think I've used this mic for maybe a couple years doing this. and it's met its maker at this point. I think maybe.
The thing that kind of confuses me though is if it sounds fine on your recording, then
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
bad drivers. I don't know. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, we'll have to mess around with that. So I apologize to you guys, but anyway, it's good to have Karl here. We actually saw you perform at the over the summer at the New Jersey Anime Comic
Comic and Anime Con.
Home Appliances Con. I don't know, something. It was multiple things.
Which I'm going to be at that same hotel this weekend for DerpyCon. I've got about
Really?
8 hours of programming,
Oh.
and I'm psyched to be back. It's a beautiful venue. It's a great
It
town.
really is. It's a really nice spot for the panels too. The setup with the mics and everything. So yeah, I got to see you perform for the first time, and all your stuff's top notch. Well, one of my favorite parts was in between your jokes, you would like look over your set list, and there was kind of like this outer dialogue where you're talking to yourself, and you're like, "Can't do that one. Too many kids in the room. Can't do that one. These guys won't get it." Like it was just very. I really enjoyed. What's that all about? Next, try to explain that. What's happening there?
There are two possible venues to that, and one is as someone who watches a lot of stand-up comedy, I'm doing my best to break away from getting called out on copying Jim Gaffigan. Gaffigan trolls himself with that inner, I want to call it the Midwestern mom voice that he has. He ends a joke, Walmart's the punchline. I shop at Walmart. This guy's talking about food. And I've been trying to change that voice a little bit, but the one bit that really inspires that is when I got to see one of my podcast heroes, Mark Maron, live, when I was in Rochester a couple years ago for RockCon. He started experimenting with this new joke that I have this running live blogger in my head during my show. Maron tried to explain the live blogger effect, but it ended up falling apart. Afterwards, he kicked over his water bottle, and breaking the show, he temporarily explored the audience's intimacy by stealing someone's napkin off their table from the front row and dishing up the water. More on this as it comes. More on this later. And one of the things I especially want to do with live shows is I want to give that spontaneity. I especially want to give people who have given me the time and their attention to sit down in front of me, I don't want to miss a beat. It's also, as you notice, I'm terrified of silence. We never had it in the household. Yeah. So for me, it's also, I don't have the larger set list in my show. The Rochester Fringe Festival in September this year was the first time I had the hour, bit by bit, place for place in my head. For the most part, I tend to memorize my chunks, my paragraphs, my 2-minute sets, and I just have those as I have the newer stuff written out in long form, and then once I have something in my head, like Pokemon Golbat, Sailor Moon, Justice League, I know, I'm gonna hopefully transition it into that. But another thing, I don't work on transitional material, because one of my first and favorite comedy albums, George Carlin, ends with, and because I don't do transitional material, weather vanes. Why don't we talk about weather vanes anymore? I think he just wrapped up some filthy bit, but he decides the wind's blowing this direction now.
No segue, just going raw to the next thing, jumping.
Yes.
I like it. I like it, man. So yeah, it was a great time seeing you there. We also did our show at that convention, which was not nearly as successful as your performance, but you participated with our stuff, which was really cool. And
yeah, my bad for some reason. I should have communicated with you before that. Like, hey, let's talk for 5 minutes before we do this magical improv thing. It worked out really well, though.
You guys were just doing what you had to do.
With it, say yes, and I wasn't sure whether I was supposed to go down at the first spray or not at all. Did you upload that by the way?
Oh yeah. It's up there, yeah.
Okay.
Check it out. I'll send you that if you want. I probably should have done that already, but
the terror lives on. We planted the seeds, and it came to fruition.
That's right, man.
Awesome.
Couple things I want to touch on here as we get started. A half hour into it already. As we get started, I got a copyright strike on my channel. Have you ever dealt with anything like that on YouTube? Copyright strikes or what is it? ID content match and that kind of. Yeah, it's happening.
The only thing I've ever done with that, I have copyrighted like plays that I've written, especially right in the beginning, in the get-go, once you learn about the Library of Congress. And from what I can tell, so long as you're safe within parody restrictions, it's pretty much yours once you post it up to YouTube. I mean, that being said, I mean, if YouTube had its own court, it would need its own court system equal to that of what we have here in the States. So, for the most part, unless you're directly ripping off Disney or HBO or showing their stuff, there really is rarely a problem.
Right.
But if we're talking collecting residuals, I tried setting up something like that with TuneCore, which I knew would be a hiccup because I don't have songs. And the last thing YouTube is going to do is try to find my voice left and right. It's not going to match up words. It's waiting to hear a beat. It's waiting to hear a tone. And other than the natural scream that I do on stage, there's not really a tone or a syntactual rhythm to my videos.
Yeah. Well, here's the story. So I was trying to do stuff at this YouTube Open Studios in New York.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain amount of subscribers. You have to have like certain criteria. So I kind of met all those things, and then I had to go there, do an orientation, do like a class, do an online class, do like a couple hours, the whole process. And then 2 days later, after this was complete, I got a copyright strike. And if you have copyright strikes on your channel, you cannot do anything at the YouTube studio. So it just completely killed the whole thing. I was planning on filming some stuff or doing something there.
That seems to defeat the purpose, though.
Yeah, you think so?
I would think so, because if you're going to the YouTube studio because you have enough subscribers and enough followers, that means that you have enough clout that you must own at least your brand, at least your label, at least a little bit of your name.
It's like a punishment, basically. It was a copyright strike from the WWE. I used maybe a clip or something. It was a video from 2 years ago, actually, that they caught. So this was on November 1st. So I filed the counterclaim, the copyright counterclaim, which basically says, that you felt like you had the right to use the footage, and they could sue you if they want to. If they don't sue you within a couple weeks, then the claim is released. So a couple weeks go by, I get an email that says that they have released the claim. The claim is gone, and your channel is fine now. Sounds good, right? But I logged into YouTube. This was a week ago, last Tuesday, and the strike is still there when I log in. And a week later, it's still there. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know what's going on. I tried to send some emails to different people and clear this. I don't know, whatever. So that's where we're at, man. Unfortunately, I wanted to do something at the YouTube place for December. It's not going to happen because you have to kind of reserve the time before December begins to do stuff in December. So that ain't going to happen this for December, but hopefully something that'll happen in 2016, man. Hopefully something that you guys might look forward to or dread, depending on how you look at it. But that's the story with that situation.
So the studio is in New York. Are we talking like a 10 by 10 room? Or are we?
No, it's huge. It's gigantic. It's above the Chelsea Market. They have it's called the YouTube Space, and it's like 6 different rooms that they have and different props, different setups.
That's just awesome.
It's all for free too, which is amazing, So perhaps we'll see Karl pop in something if we do something there. I don't know.
I mean, I just think it makes sense. It's so logical. But if you're talking about copyright, like, how does the guy from Honest Movie Trailers not get sued? Probably the same.
Seriously.
I don't know, man. It's really wacky. But hey,
I mean, it is. I think it has something to do with if you use under 30 seconds of uninterrupted, unedited clip. So theoretically, you could put up a whole movie, but as long as within every 29 seconds, you just replace the audio with you should be okay.
That's how my mic sounds right now. Just use my mic and just say something.
Loosen up.
Yeah, it's very odd, annoying, and what's funny is they take the video and they like freeze it and kind of like lock it out, so you can't even see what it was. They don't even really tell you what it was. It's just like copyright strike on this one. I don't even know what it was, man. But that's it, man. Let's check out some artwork for the month. We got one piece of artwork sent in. Here it is. Comes to us from Bradley OX. Made a bunch of awesome art for this year. Mm-hmm. Peanuts right there.
Yeah. Good grief, that looks like you two as well.
I
I also really like that he didn't go with the obvious of doing like a Snoopy Woodstock layover. Like first off, the Charlie Brown the expression perfectly captures OJ, but it also is fun to me because it looks like it's much more of a Rambo OC than like Rambo as Peppermint Patty, Rambo as Lucy. Though I think both those characters could kind of over well.
Just like Lucy, pretty much.
Yeah, it brings to the question of like, what would your role be?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about
Charlie,
that.
you got a nickel? Kill yourself. Get out. Boom. I'm brilliant.
Wow, it's not that hard.
I don't think the nose is big enough, but that's me.
Honestly, I think he's kind of like if you combined, like, I don't know, kind of seems like Linus the way they drew him. For some reason, it just seems like Linus because he's always offering the sage advice.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone seen the new Peanuts movie that's out there?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'd like to. I don't think did it do well? I mean, do we know anything about this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Looking over record sales, it doesn't appear that way. Have either of you read the play Dog Sees God?
No.
Dog Sees God reads like today it reads like the campiest Dare commercial from the 90s. The idea is it's the high school Who's Sleeping with Who drama. It's clearly the Peanuts characters, but they're all renamed to something slightly different or homage to their names. And it starts at Snoopy's funeral. So, like, Schroeder, so I think it's like Schroeder and Charlie Brown, they end up hooking up. I think Peppermint Patty and Lucy both got abortions. Linus smoked his blanket after Lucy set on fire, so now she's insane. Like, Pigpen gets cleaned up and he becomes like the bully and the jock and the guy who's hustling and bustling. And it's supposed to be this statement about everyone is kind of an outsider, but together we can kind of just be snarky, sarcastic douches at each other because it's the 90s and it's theater and it's edgy before edgy. But I had wanted to read it for years because I'd heard such great things about it. But I can't get through it now because it's almost like watching those old Dare cartoons when like the Muppet Babies would show up, or all your Saturday morning cartoon shows would like come up, like the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would come up. Put their drugs down, you'll explode. And the drugs are like, the joint is twisted at both ends, so it doesn't even make sense. It just looks like a rolled piece of paper, or it's like a bunch of M&Ms that they spray painted because they couldn't get real street drugs.
I remember being so excited for that special because like the show parts, like the Ninja Turtles were there, and then like other characters, like, oh my god, I gotta watch this, and then it was just
Oh yeah, what was that one? Wasn't there an anti-drug like whole movie with like all the characters were in it?
Yep, trying to save Billy from smoking.
Yeah,
but not even weed, just smoking. I mean, and like Joe Camel is crying in the corner.
So John, you're gonna be off next week. You're not gonna be here.
Yeah.
What's going on? Tell us where you're going, what you're doing. The world wants to know. Let us know.
Scotland and England.
When do you leave, man? Tomorrow?
Friday.
Friday, you're going to Scotland first?
Yep.
And then you're going to London, actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta admit, I called my hotel in Scotland twice, and I'm not sure if I called the second time just so I could hear them talk more.
Oh boy. Now, is this vacation? Have you been planning this out?
It's vacation.
Awesome. You're going to have a great time.
I hope so.
Have you done this, Karl? Have you gone to these places?
Yeah, have you gone?
I
thought you went to.
I went to England 2 years ago. I married off a sister. They're actually going there for Christmas because I have a new step niece in-law. I have a new niece. I think her name is Pixie something Robertson, which is I think it's an adorable name.
This is real?
Yeah, no. Its name is Pixie.
It's.
And we're doing
I'm very
great
confused,
with
Karl.
babies
This is a
year.
human baby?
We're doing great with baby names in the family this year. I have a niece who was born April 1st. Her name is Isabel Elizabeth Nichols. That is a beautiful name. That's a strong name, but it's got a nice flow to it. It's got a nice balance of hard and soft consonants.
It's got some Christianity to it. Very nice.
Yeah, about this time last year, 2 years ago, Kat and I flew out to London. We stayed for a few days. We saw the Sleep No More thing that they had going called The Drowned Man before it closed. Then we went to Bath, which is kind of the center of England. I had been there when I was 16 years old as part of a field trip with the high school marching band. Like I said, Bucks County, just red enough for the Blues to get out. And then we went to Cardiff, the capital of Wales, which I was told was very much like Detroit. But mind you, my brother-in-law is English, so of course the Welsh to him are just these unadulterated sheep fuckers, and they're not. They're really sweet people that have a lot of sheep.
Is that where you're going, John?
People like goats.
We went to Cardiff to do the whole Doctor Who experience, the whole Doctor Who tour. I got to, there's footage of me trying to touch Bessie, the 1960 bright canary red roadster that the 3rd and 7th Doctor Who drove. And my favorite moment of that whole tour is sitting in the cafe. There's a bunch of like 30 and 40-year-old people, and a whole group of kids walks in. And they're kids. They all kind of make the same rambunctious din and the chatter, and they go silent when they look over at like the 10 of us. And we just silently glare at them. And between 2 generations, the same face that said, "Why are you here? This isn't for you." In a beautiful shared moment of mutual, "This isn't yours." Oh, such great merchandise. We hit the original Forbidden Planet in London.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I didn't even know that was from there. Is that true?
Originally from there. There are 3 floors, and they're all underground. You gotta keep going.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Some things I did not know.
Other things you're planning on doing, John?
Are any of
John?
these things I'm planning on doing?
No, just in general. Anything you're looking forward to doing? Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to Stirling Castle in Scotland and Edinburgh Castle, because obviously if that's where I'm going, it's probably, if I do, it'd be a shame if I didn't. Couple distilleries for Scotch. Then in London, I'm gonna go to Bath, because it's about time I took a bath, and like I found this like bus that'll take you all the way out to Stonehenge, Bath, and like one other place in the whole. Oh yeah, it was funny that. It was funny because I could get this with my credit card points too, because I had never spent my credit card points ever. And if you use them for travel, you save money, apparently. Like, they give you an extra percentage. So I'm like, okay. So apparently I'm going to Stonehenge, Bath, and eating lunch at a pub in Lacock.
Whoa,
I don't know how
whoa,
it's
whoa.
pronounced.
Let's calm down with that language on this program, okay?
It's Lacock.
You have a great time masticating that Lecoq as much as you want, okay? You masticate the hell out of that Lecoq.
We let him sit at the big boys table here, and look what he does. Jeez. I understand you might meet up with some people, man. Some of the Rimbourgines out there. Bushi has contacted you, and Damien. You're going to meet up with some people, or what?
Yeah, Damien emailed me. I don't know if I was clear enough in replying to Bushi saying, I tried to say, jokingly, like, say, yeah, if you want to, I'll be in London if you're around or something, and then, but that's what I wanted to say, but instead I said, he asked, hey, let me know if you're going to be in town or something, and my response, instead of what I just said, was, sure, prepare your finest traps, that sounds good for me, or something stupid like that. Like, I'm not good at saying things that make sense.
Can't you say, yes, I'd like to meet you?
Don't tell the Scottish to trap you. You're going to be between spears and broken beer bottles in a moment.
Jeez.
Especially, like, you walk in with your last name being Harrington, they're going to think you're there to collect taxes.
I'm going to have to tell them I'm O'Hingerdale. That's what our last name used to be. I'm not even...
What did Damien say back?
Yeah, he let me know a couple of times he's free. Maybe we could get some food or something.
Well, let us know how it goes, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your tales. How you were locked in a prison or someone's basement. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm not going... There's a dungeon. I'm not going there because I don't think they'd let me out.
So I found this online. This is something that's... I guess this is like a big deal. Well, I don't know. Maybe to some people. I thought it was really funny. Sylvester Stallone is auctioning off just a ton of merchandise. All kinds of stuff from all his different movies. Like, not just Rocky and Rambo. We're talking, like, everything, man. Judge Dredd, so on and so forth. So, John, if you have that link, maybe send it to Karl. And what I'd like to do is just kind of peruse through some of this stuff that Mr. Stallone is auctioning off.
As in, this is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone, yes.
I am worried about how he may secretly have no money. Because a few years ago, he was a guest at Comic-Con. His signature was like $450, which is hilarious. Because you should never at some point... I don't think you could buy enough movie tickets for each and every one of his movies to give that and even validated for one. Holy hell, it's the boxing shoe from Rocky.
Yeah, when you look at this, I mean, it may prove your point correct. It's like everything is here. I mean, just insane. So yeah, like you said, you have the boxing shoe from Rocky, which is going for $10,000 is the current bid. It actually ends on December 18th, is when the entire auction is over. So if any of you guys here want to bid on something while we're live on the show, please go ahead and do it. If maybe anyone listening to this wants to buy me some merchandise, it's fine.
An animated McKay from the Lipton Brisk Iced Tea commercial, 1997. I remember that. That's Brisk, baby.
Y'all,
I remember that commercial.
Yeah, it's going for $1,000, and the Rocky alone is $800. But the one with Mickey is going for $1,000.
Oh, if I could bring that into Dungeon Crawler Season 2.
Look at this right here, man.
this
He could be the
bro.
werepug.
Do you see this one? The Sylvester Stallone signed bronze mask from 1975. Imagine having that on like your coffee table or something.
That's creepy looking. It looks like Alfred Hitchcock plus the.
Yeah, that's a strange one right there, man.
There's how many pages to this?
Dude, it's like every movie. It's not just like I said. It's not just like Rocky. It's like everything.
Did someone break into his house? That's from Expendables too. Like, did someone just break into his garage and does he have a secret eBay like hide personality?
He has a Los Angeles Lakers NBA championship ring gifted to Stallone by Shaq in 2002.
Oh. He's
selling it. It's going for $19,000 right now. Like, this stuff is just weird. Like, a lot of this is just weird stuff. Like, he has a saddle. Like, his own personal horse saddle is on auction. He has his own personal golf bag.
No, you know what's good? An impressive and overly large humidor related to Rocky IV.
Right.
I don't know what its relation to Rocky IV is, but it is overly large and impressive, so it is worth $2,200.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of watches on there as well. Not watches from his movies, but people must have gifted him watches.
Yeah, it's like personal items. On page 4, he actually has a car, black Volkswagen Phaeton. Is that how you say that? 2005 Volkswagen Phaeton. It's going for $25,000. He has a painting from 1811 or something. What is this? A French painting. It's just like I was looking through this for like an hour the other day. It's just wacky, dude.
A Charles Dickens handwritten note, 1844. So, bullshit! Sylvester Stallone cannot time travel. He's not that old, you guys. Wow, even just like art from his bathroom. What is this man? He just collects all this crap. A walrus skull. Current bid, $160. John, you have yourself a Christmas present.
I would love it. I would love to have that. A vest from Paradise Alley, a script from Paradise Alley. I don't even know what that movie is. A costume from Victory.
Spy Kids 3D poster. Current bid, $1.
There you go. You might be able to win that one. I feel like I want to win something. I don't care what it is. Like, just to say I did it.
But guys, you could totally get the severed heads, man.
Yeah, what page is that? Show that to Karl. I saw that one.
Page 2.
Yeah, there's like severed prop heads that you could also use for dungeon crawlers. There you go.
I mean, page 1, there's a Cut Me Mick t-shirt. Like, it's as related to rock. It's just an effing t-shirt.
How much is he going for?
Like 160.
He has his jacket from Cobra.
A marble bust, $1. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
He has his custom suit from Rhinestone. I never saw that one before.
Yeah, some of these aren't even from his movie. This is just like stuff that a rich, eccentric guy just happens to collect and doesn't know what to do with.
Oh my god! He's got this stuff from Cliffhanger. The boots.
Yeah.
The suit, the jacket that's all ripped up and burned. That's where he punches a mountain. You've seen Cliffhanger, I'm sure. He punches through the mountain.
I mean, I was always waiting for the payoff, but it always left me unsatisfied.
What did you want him to just fall?
Angling, you might say.
You want him to fall to his death?
A utility bag. 5 pairs of night goggles from The Expendables. Current bid, $42. A group of prop flags from The Expendables.
A uniform from Copland. That's a great movie.
I think I left. No, I thought I left the Rocky section because I went to the last page. And
yeah, it comes back.
Yeah, it's like all this nonsense, and then it comes back to Rocky and Stallone.
This has to be for charity. This has to be for something.
I don't know. It doesn't really specify that. I imagine some of it at least would go to charities because he's probably going to raise, I don't know, a couple $1 million or something. But there's a pair of chaps here that are like a cow skin, maybe, something like that.
Dude, it doesn't matter. We're good. We're good.
Was
You know
his
what we
character written out of Pulp Fiction? Like, how did...
What, he has something from Pulp Fiction? It's like stolen from Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction.
No, I'm just thinking, like, how would Stallone obtain a pair of chaps? How couldn't he obtain a pair of chaps?
It was his own personal use.
There he is. See what you're wearing.
On this page 10, I'm not sure, I think it's page 10, this is actually a gun. It's a real gun that it must have been his gun. It's a
Guys,
Beretta Model
we're good.
96. Yes.
For $75 or $60, I guess, whatever
headband.
buyer's premium is. On the last page, you can get a lot of 27 Expendables bus stop bench posters.
They put them on
Collect
benches.
that, too?
I guess so.
A Terry Crews pair of prop razors from the Expendables. Only for $1, but if it's from Terry Crews, yeah, a wooden bench from the Expendables. Jason Statham's weapon belt and prop knives for $80. If Jason Statham touched it.
Oh, yeah. What part of him touched it that could affect the value, depending.
Oh my gosh, the Rambo Japanese poster.
Oh, nice. How much is that?
No, it's $16. It's $2.
See, I'm gonna try to go for something. I want to just say I won something off this insane auction. This disgusting Stallone auction.
3D poster. All I want for Christmas is the cryogenic prison chamber from the Demolition Man.
Oh wow!
$2,400. But the
I'm trying
images
to
of
figure out what this
frozen
Japanese
nude
poster
Stallone
says.
locked inside.
Hey, John,
Yes.
is Rambo's tagline something about a man who lives? Try stopping a man who lives for nothing. Who'll die. Who lives for nothing or die like nothing?
There's
or
different.
something like that?
There's a lot of different There's a lot of different it's probably a poster phrase or something.
Yeah, because it looks like it's saying to live for nothing. I can't read this.
Here's a jacket from Staying Alive, the movie.
A prop bomb from Daylight.
Oh, very nice.
Daylight. I remember that movie. Oh my gosh, we watched that in high school.
I'm gonna see if I can put this on the screen. This cryogenic prison chamber thing, because this is insane. Let's see if I can. Hold on a
The
second.
motion capture suit from Grudge Match.
All right, let me see if I can add this to
motion
the.
capture suit for $80. We can't say no to that.
Dude, that's the cheapest motion capture suit you're ever
Gonna find unless you grab a morph suit and a bunch of tennis balls. Yeah, there are the chaps. Yeah, all those ping pong balls. This is magnificent.
All right, let me try. I get this on the screen so everyone can see this. Let's see here.
This is the most wonderful time of the year.
For Stallone. That's right. Huh.
The iconic image related to Cobra. Related to Cobra?
Related to Cobra.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh, here it is. I
A
got it.
costume from Oscar. Now,
All right, so friends, so here it is. This is the cryogenic chamber that you could buy. How much does this go? It's going for $2,400 currently. I don't exactly know what that is. Is it like? Does he come out of there? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, does it exchange places with you, and then you walk away with a new fetch?
Yeah. So there you go. Pretty amazing stuff. Like I said, I spent a lot of time just going through this the other day. I was amazed. If you guys want to know what to get me for Christmas, there you go.
It only makes me so excited to see what Robert Downey Jr. is going to sell if he ever goes back to drugs. Or, like, just imagine
He's
the
the
next
next
20
one.
years, what Jennifer Lawrence is going to be selling.
Schwarzenegger, I'm sure he's got some gems. It's funny, they all have their own cryogenic chamber. They all have one. It's very interesting. All right, so, Karl, man, let's talk to you. We had you on here a while ago before you first premiered your own series, Dungeon Crawlers.
That is correct.
It's a while ago.
I cannot thank the fans that you guys redirected to me often enough. I mean, yeah, I love you guys. I love your fans. I clearly like working with you to some degree. Let's put it out there right now.
I hope so. So let us know what's going on. Season 2. What's the story here?
I'm super. I'm so happy to actually get this bad boy out. And a big thank you to John. So the deal is, I broke it down, and I said if I don't pay my camera guy Rich, which he's fine with volunteering because he learns all these brand new skills. He taught himself green screening and blue screening to do the first season. He taught himself a whole lot with audio editing to make the first season happen. It is definitely still feels to me like a pilot season. I had a great time with it, but by the end of the first season, I felt like we hit a momentum. We hit an arc. We had an A team and a B team of puppets. I had reached out to more prop people, more puppeteers, and people were more than willing to step in and help. And I got a lot of great help from other internet celebrities. I had a couple of people from the Pokemon voice cast come on live. And it just turns out, if you ask people, do you want to work with a puppet, more than happy for it. But it's not only that.
Anything with a puppet, I'm in.
It's
I don't
also
care
the
what it is.
table. You would make a great puppet right now. You know it.
I am actually a puppet right now, and it's,
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, just, the large felt nose gets interchanged.
Yeah,
The eyes
basically.
are beady. The glasses. You could do a Jim Henson very well.
Hey, man, after 180-something shows, you basically become a puppet. That's how it is.
After the years,
Yeah.
I broke it down, and we realized at an absolute minimum we could do the merchandise run that we want, because the goal of the Kickstarter isn't to pay us to film the second season. All it does is pay for basically my rent and my insurance, and to rent out the equipment, and that's it. As far as I can tell, no one's getting paid out. So for the bare minimum of $2,500 that we're going for with the Kickstarter, I want to do another 12, 11-minute episode season, which I learned 11 minutes is kind of the golden hour right now. You see great shows, Steven Universe and Adventure Time, they're thriving on the 11-minute an episode format. And I can promise that with this season, half the episode would not just be a still shot of Thrak talking on the phone to someone who's not on the screen, because that drove me even more crazy than the fans. I mean, I can't thank the people who came on to do the voices enough for pulling some of their audience toward it, but it's clearly going to be Benny and Thrak. When we left the Cave of Deadly Doom, it had collapsed as a smoldering pile of Deadly Doom, which meant that Thrak and Benny had to move to the only place they could afford to, a Silver Bullet trailer park. They still have to operate as a dungeon, though, so they still have to lure adventurers into their 2-bedroom trailer, treat it like it's loaded with traps and treasure, and somehow kill the people who get inside of it. But this means that they're in a trailer trash park in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey/Pennsylvania border on that side of the state, which means they're no longer the scariest thing in their neighborhood. And season 2, we wanted to really expand it because I have a gaming store upstate in Connecticut. Silver Eagle is run by a friend of mine, Dan Koval. We can have that be a real on-location shoot. We can move it out of the apartment. We can go to an actual trailer park to film. We can go to an actual convention and film. We could rent out space at a paintball field. You pull enough strings and ask for enough favors, people are more than willing to have a puppet show up there. And once you pull out Thrak, the sheer size of him, people get even more excited. So that is it. It's our pitch and our plea. Can we make it to the minimum? Can we give it another shot? And it's not even just the canonical series. There's a bunch of side films that we want to do. The first couple episodes, we hint at the Loth Witnesses, which for me are gender-reverse, quiverful evangelicals. You just replace Father and God with the woman in your life and the giant spider. So for me, they're basically more, like if Mormons were raised in Night Vale, that's what these people would be. And I would give Spider Witness Dave his own internet cooking show as he fights back because the giant spiders know he's talking about them and are not happy with it. I would do spin-off episodes with just a day in the life for out-of-work homeless wizard Mumbar the Wizard, bring him back. Be pulling in new puppets, new characters. Like I always wanted to bring in the werepug in season 1, but with Thrak opening up a daycare in season 2, it makes more sense. We have the werepug puppy come in, start biting people, so everything starts looking more the pet shoot for an episode of Sex and the City. Womp womp. Because there's so many weird things it could be, but a werepug loses all potential for fear when you realize that its final horror monster form has no depth perception, can't breathe right, and also is afraid of stairs. Which I just think would be so much fun to play with it. So some of the benefits that we're giving out to people, naming a zombie that gets called out in show.
Oh.
We're also giving out Skype phone calls with Thrak. Thrak will call you on your birthday. We're doing an MP3 montage of character catchphrases that you can then use for your phone for ringtones or alarms, whatever you wanted to publicly embarrass yourself. We're working on doing a felt Thrak hat. We were thinking of little novelties. We've still got the 5x7 prints of me and Thrak recreating the black and white Henson Kermit shoot.
Oh, wow. I like that one. Very nice.
of that one.
That was a great idea.
It's our, and the other thing that a lot of our patrons are getting is as a bonus, we are going to be releasing an Uncle Yo DVD of the live show that I did at the Rochester Fringe Festival. The title was The Geek Inherit the Earth, primarily to see how many grammar geeks I have as fans. It could have been The Geeks Inherit the Earth, but I really always want to refer to that culture, especially geek, as kind of its own thing. Pluralizing it would have been redundant. But I loved that show. It got a lot more darker and political than I think I've ever gone on stage before, but I knew that I nailed it. It finally has the music to the Children of Starlight monologue, which I've been sending out, and I was just amazed that it even got pulled off. So we're going to make a DVD of that. That's going to be one of the bonuses that.
So hold on, were you planning on making that show a DVD like beforehand, or it just came out so great that you're like, this is the one that is going to be the DVD?
That's the one that I want to do, and it's also just an extra thank you to people who would want to support Benny and Thrak to begin with, because I can show you the camera. They're up above me in that entire top, first, and second. Well, actually, no. Benny is actually... So we have a stepping stool that's hollow, and Benny rests by our door. So every time you sit down, take your shoes on and off when you enter my place, you're technically sitting on Benny's face, but he's up there. Thrak and Jill are up there. A bunch of the other props. It's just we learned so much doing this, and even after it was done filming, I took a bunch of puppetry classes.
Oh wow!
I learned what I was doing wrong. I learned to follow my instincts, but I finally learned much more technique.
Now, are you doing? Because I saw your Kickstarter, the video you did, which was awesome. You're doing both the voices for the two.
Yeah. So I not only write and direct, but as I did the first time, I do Benny and Thrak as well. Episode 5 starts out with them arguing over the ending of Frozen. Because of Elsa's love for her sister, that's why she's fallen out at the end. It's a metaphor for sisterly love.
I just like how Disney did something unique and different than what they did the last time. Like, they had one be really snarky and adventurous, and one just kind of be a frozen bitch with her own castle.
Well, I thought the music was better.
I liked it better when it was called Tangled.
How about you let it go?
Well,
It's such a joy to banter, because especially as I learned this as a playwriting,
Mhm.
you can get away with It's the only way to get away arguing with yourself in public. Having other people do it for you.
They lock you up if you do it elsewhere, yeah. But if you see the Kickstarter video, if you guys go to the Kickstarter page, is there like a specific link, like an easy way to say it, or just?
Yes, indeed. It's the link that I'm gonna send and paste right now.
Yeah.
We're at the moment of filming and launching this episode of the show. We are $4 away from basically our halfway point at
Okay.
at $1,000.
Yeah. I just want to make the point. If you go there, you can watch this video, which is very funny. It's actually Karl talking with the two puppets. Suddenly, Karl disappears, goes down, and then you have the two puppets speaking to each other, which you're doing the voices for. It's a lot of, like, gymnastics going on there, man. It's really impressive.
Without a
Very
doubt.
cool.
And for those who've seen, like, in the video, you see how big Thrak is to me. We did not realize. I mean, this just goes back to needing an A team and a B team. Thrak is a heavy puppet. I mean, his headpiece is no more than 2-3 pounds. You can hold it up. But even after the first 5 minutes of filming, we learned we can't do a sustained shot of longer than a minute, because by Sunday, you'll see the shots of Benny as he's just melted. He's a melted wraith. And that came from realizing I need a table to prop my elbow up, or I'm losing circulation. And Benny also has a cloak as well, so that the puppeteer can kind of see through to look at the monitor, which is another part of the equipment that we're hoping to kickstart and buy. But we did an 8-minute one take where Benny was interviewing one of our corporate villains at the end. My friend Noah Houlihan came on to do one of my favorite reimaginations. So you play enough D&D, you run into all the metallic dragons. Well, this is a corporate real estate tycoon dragon. He's the Silicon Dragon. So Benny is interviewing essentially a corporate dragon in man form, and it's just an 8-minute long improv video. At the end, my friend Scott Lutz, who was watching me so he could do the mouth movements of Benny and move the hand, he takes off. He is sweating like a Russian bathhouse, because I mean, it's hot under those lights. It's hot because we have just those powerful LED lights in our apartment focusing just on us. And considering for the most part, my arm is wrapped in a massive felt tube, and that's also padded for my protection. So if you shove your arm into a couch cushion and wear that on your arm and go outside to play Frisbee, that's how bad you sweat when you puppeteer. So it's got to be a labor of love.
I see, man. So when does the Kickstarter end? You said it's a couple days. Is it? Let us know.
We have 3 days left. The Kickstarter
3 days left.
Kickstarter is going to end Saturday, the 5th of December. And
okay.
I know a lot of people are coming through. I know it's the holidays. I've been cashing in a lot of my bonuses on credit cards as well, cash extra mileage. I just gave some money to Wikipedia. I just gave it to Limetown, the podcast. I signed up for a monthly subscription to Welcome to Night Vale. And to be honest, I would still give to this because Mystery Science Theater 3000 is going to launch, okay?
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
And I don't Kickstarter to go the way of New York City, where it only goes off and gets funded. I don't want Kickstarter to be like New York. I don't want it to be a plaything for the wealthy and the people who've already made it to come back on and milk your nostalgia to prove how popular they are to themselves.
Right.
I want it to be the venue that it was meant to be for the youngers and the upcomings to have a fighting chance.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. So if you're out there, you support awesome, great independent content, check it out, man. You can go to youtube.com/UncleYo, or just type in Dungeon Crawlers, the series, and check out the first season, which you guys made, without any fun. You did all on your own, and now you're stepping up. You want to, maybe make some changes, maybe bring some new stuff in, take it to the next level. 2000 certainly not outside the realm of being, it's definitely not being crazy there. Seems reasonable. So, highly recommend anybody out there, go check it out, see what you think, man. And Karl's a very talented gentleman, works very hard, and I don't think he's one of these people that's going to take the money and maybe disappear into the night or something. I think you're going to put it to very good use, I would say.
As best we can. Thank you so much for the pimp and the post, Rambo. Really sweet words from you. I mean, the only people I ever saw work even harder was when you were cranking to re-edit the entirety of Snosh Man Hole Punch to get it onto one Blu-ray. You practically filled up a Blu-ray, which the extended Lord of the Rings did not fill up a Blu-ray. You went back to prove yourself a 3-time masochist.
Yeah, it's I'm still feeling the effects now. PTSD, nightmares.
And that's the most interesting part about being a content creator. And in some cases, you make the thing that you love, and you realize for all the rest of the time in your life, whether you count the hours of sleeping or not, even working on your magnum opus, even Alan Moore typing out Watchmen, that's at most 1% of the rest of your life. The other 99% is always going to be spent pitching, defending, or drawing people's attention, or even apologizing for the thing that you made. Like, look at George Lucas. He's so upset because people hate him for making new Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like he's done anything since. At this point, like, you look at Lucas, because we're about to... My mother called me the other day and said, we're getting new Star Wars, aren't we? We are, Mom. We're getting the next movies. But I remember it when I was... I know. No, it's still a thing. But Lucas feels the way toward his fandom. I feel like the father who's got to take the kids to one last trip to Disney World. He's on the car ride down, and he's going to wait until after Disney World to tell them about the divorce, but he just can't wait for it. You shut down. You shut your mouth right now. I will turn the Millennium Falcon around. Fine, we're not going to Disney World. You want more retcons? If I hear one more word about midichlorians, all right, that's fine. Gungans are the original Jedi. Suck it. Han, I'll go back and re-edit it so that Han never shot. You happy now?
Yeah, he definitely comes off that way. It just seems like he was blindsided by the response that he got. Because it's like people tell you you're so genius for so long, and then you're like, all right, I'll make some more of that, and then it's like, you're terrible. It must be so bizarre, right? Just imagine that.
I'm gonna do it on this weekend at DerbyCon, but I essentially want to say, like, as someone who grew up in a sci-fi household, which is, by the way, complete lie. an act I have about having to come out fantasy to my conservative Klingon parents. They are not. But I want to get up on stage and say, as a Star Wars child of that era, I will sing to you the song of my people. Wow, I ain't making more Star Wars. This is just you give the old Star Wars again. More old things. New is bad. That is the song of my people. There should be an accordion and the yelping of a cockapoo in the background.
La cockapoo.
What are your feelings on the new Star Wars? You excited about it coming out? Have you seen all the trailers and stuff? What's your take on this?
I've been able to avoid the trailers. I want
You haven't seen them? Wow,
I want to
excellent.
go in completely blind.
I will say this: they've probably done a better job than any movie I've seen in like 10 years, as far as cutting trailers that you have no idea what is going on or what this is about at all.
The thing is, for my money,
Because the movie's the same way.
after the prequels, I felt the best Star Wars movie we had was Thor 2. Because it really was, if nothing else, an homage to everything Blizzard Entertainment. Because it looks like StarCraft invading Warcraft. Like, when Christopher Eccleston's Dark Elves arrive, they're in their spaceship, just call it what it is, and they're blowing up Asgard. It looks like StarCraft is giving the biggest finger to the Horde. Take that, Alliance. Boom.
Guardians of the Galaxy was a good Star Wars movie.
It was a great Star Wars movie. I wish that could have been a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that's like, it really captures like that fun and stuff. So that's what I'm hoping they can do with these new ones, you know.
It was fun.
Just make it fun, man.
I mean, America loves the hero's journey, and that's what Star Wars is. You just go for it because it's large enough, it's mythic enough. No one is going to Star Wars expecting it to be a Spielberg level of art. They're going in for the fun visuals. They want fun characters they can jump into it, because has kept Star Wars going the last 20 years. After we're going to ignore the prequels, as many of us do.
Yes.
The kids, the constant Saturday morning cartoons, the Clone Wars that came out, the other Clone Wars that came out, Star Wars, Rebels, the novels, the games that come out, you have to play in that extended universe. Because that's where the fans get to have the most fun. The people writing these cartoons now, the people who are parodying it, the yearly Robot Chicken parody of Star Wars that comes out, that's a labor of love from a generation that grew up doing it, which is why it's so great to see things from the 90s that we saw when we were kids on TV get homaged into animation today. Like, if you grew up a fan of anime, every screenshot of Steven Universe is going to remind you of something for the really keen eye. And that's what Star Wars should be for every generation. It should be the fun space epic. We go to see how good special effects can be when Disney puts their full OCD and full marketing money behind it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I know, John, you already got your tickets. You're all set. What's going on?
Yeah, I got tickets, barely. So the tickets went on sale, and I wanted to go to one particular place.
Okay.
The Alamo. Because you buy your tickets, reserve seating, don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. Plus, you get an official Star Wars tumbler glass. And you can eat food while you're watching. So, the night tickets go on sale. I spend 2 hours at my computer punching the website in the face. Because every time I try to buy it, it takes me to the credit card page, I click buy, and it fails. I click buy, it fails. Finally, the next morning, I check my email. We're sorry. We not sell tickets good. Please continue to come to us. We like you. And I check their website. There's 2 tickets left for the Thursday showing at 8:30 p.m., which is the night it comes out. In the front row, all the way on the right side.
No.
I'm like, you know what?
That's how I saw the
Matrix. I saw
Matrix.
Kingsman that way. In the back 2 seats all the way on the left side, and then in the front 2 seats all the way on the right side at Alamo Theaters, and it was fine. So you know what? My neck is going to cry, my back is going to burn, but I'm going to see this effing movie. Dang it. And then my friend bought me a ticket for the next day too, and I'm like, oh, sure, I'll see it twice, I guess?
I did the same thing with Mad Max Fury Road, both in theaters and when I bought the DVD. Like, I left the theater, and I inhaled for the first time in nearly 2 hours. And I thought, again, yeah, it was like getting off a ride in Disney World.
Yeah.
I turned around and went back into the theater.
Really?
So when it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, I put it in. I was excited, and then Kat came home, looked in the door, and said, "Dude, you got Fury Road. Do you want to watch it tonight after dinner? At this point, I was halfway through buzzing my head, painting myself white, and doing the black under my eyes. Yes. Let's do that and share that experience.
Witness me.
What a
Can
day!
I get a
Glorious day.
witness?
I knew a guy that when what was it? The Phantom Menace came out. He had bought tickets to every showing for the entire opening day. So he went to every showing that he possibly could, timing wise, for that entire day.
That man is a hero. I can't wait for Comic Book Guy to come on an episode of The Simpsons. Worst sequel trilogy ever.
Well,
I
here's
will
the
only
thing.
see it 3 more times.
I don't know if he made it through the entire experience, but that's what he was planning to do because he was so excited about Star Wars coming back. So it's going to be great. Obviously, let me buy all these tickets. I don't know if he made it, but John, what's one thing you're looking for in the new Star Wars that you want to see? Maybe not story wise, but just in general. Like, is there something, an element or something? I don't know, whatever.
What can we
I mean,
expect from a
obviously
Star Wars movie?
I want no lightsabers.
I mean, the thing I most want to see is a movie that feels like Star Wars, and like just that the whole feeling that you got from watching just the beginning, Luke showing up, finding out more about himself and the world, and how it just kind of expanded out from his puny little existence on Tatooine.
Yeah, that makes me cry, man.
Everything.
When he comes out, he looks at the moon, the 2 moons,
Yeah.
and the music. That shit makes me cry every time, man. So
Yeah.
there's nothing for me in the prequels. There's no moment that I'm like, get emotional at all. So I'm hoping for that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Keep going, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then now that I've said the kind of intelligent sounding thing, I want to see good lightsaber fights and force powers and purple lightning.
I had this theory eventually, so everyone freaked out. I remember the prequels, people freaking out that Mace Windu had, of all things, a purple lightsaber. That's impossible. The thing is, there are 2 kind of Star Wars fans in this world. People who only accept the canon of the original trilogy, and the other 99% of the human freaking population that just wants laser swords and spaceships and Wookiees. Wookiees driving spaceships made of laser swords. Who the hell cares? I have a theory then that eventually, so if you look at another long-running sci-fi franchise, Doctor Who, the sonic screwdriver was blue for a while, then it was green for the last 2 Doctors, then it was red for the War Doctor. Ooh, I have a theory. The 13th Doctor will finally be a black actor, and he will have a purple sonic screwdriver, putting the end to all of it.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sick of these motherfucking Daleks on this motherfucking TARDIS!
Creating a lot of controversy here, Karl. Come on, man. Calm down.
I'll tell you once, there was a LARP where we went to the elemental plane of snakes, just so Pirate Dan Comstock could yell, I'm sick of these motherfucking PCs on this motherfucking plane of snakes. We all groaned. He laughed so loud for so long. There's a villain laugh, and then there's I got you with the pun laugh, which is just as darkly as it is pure and childish.
There's a difference, yes. So there you go, Star Wars. We'll see how it goes. Definitely looking forward to it. That's how much you love Star Wars, because even though you go through some bad times with it, you're still every year one back, It's like, I'm in for more.
I just love that they're making Weird Al more and more canon as they make these songs. Because the first time I saw the screenshot of Mark Hamill with a beard, I thought, I'll be playing this part till I'm old and gray.
Oh, man.
He was a prophet the whole time.
You gotta go through and listen to all the songs.
I really just 3 things I can think of in my life that are timeless, and that is, that's Star Wars, Pokemon, and Weird Al Yankovic. They're always prevalent. They're always up with the times. And you can always go back to the old stuff and say, yeah, solid work.
Mm. I want to talk about Jessica Jones. Where are we at as far as we've seen this? I've seen the whole thing. I watched it like 2 days. OJ's not following through Karl.
Should I just mute for now? If I get spoilers, I will punch.
Well, we go to spoilers, then you could mute. But Karl, did you finished it? How long did it take you to watch this thing?
This was the course of 3 nights.
3 nights, okay.
This was 3 nights, so we would do like 2 or 3 episodes at a time. When we learned we had 12, especially now, maybe you'll agree with me on this, Rambo. No spoilers for you.
Don't spoil yet.
But The last, so there are 12 episodes.
I think there's 13 episodes.
12 or 13.
Yeah, 13.
But the last 2 episodes, in that case, it would be 11 and 12, are such a almost low-risk, longly drawn-out cat and mouse chase, and it reminded me of the first season of Death Note.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd already graduate from this part. We've already had the Belly of the Beast 2-episode arc, which is it's incredible to see the 180 that David Tennant can do. The same.
Oh God, so good.
He's ripping off some 10th Doctorisms. He pulls off he rips off his own Doctor, his own 10th Doctor.
That might just be being English, though. I don't know. That might just
be Kilgraveisms. But what I love that the Netflix Marvel universe can do, it gives you the time to watch the villains in a way that you wish the movies had the time to do.
Yeah.
At best, because you don't even Loki's best scene in Avengers is 1.5 minutes on the screen. His collective screen time, 5.5 minutes. The entire 2-hour movie, because you've got so many things and elements going on, but you get to explore those.
Right. So we'll get into a little bit more. Let me just put this up here. I don't know. We didn't tell you. We actually went to the premiere in Times Square.
Yeah.
And here's a picture of OJ with Kristen Ritter that we got on the red carpet, actually, or after the showing.
OJ, are you on your knees and she's on Rambo's shoulders? Because
no, she's
you
tall,
are a
dude.
tall man.
She's extremely tall.
And she got heels on too, though.
Yeah, she's got to be maybe 6'3" with the heels on. She's very tall.
No.
Yeah, she's super tall.
What?
She's super tall.
Way.
Yes.
She's on screen with David Tennant and
That's true. I don't know. Maybe they do some movie magic there or something. I'm not sure. But she's very tall. I don't know.
IMDb will not disclose her height and weight. They should. Those are her personal statistics.
We should have stats like athletes have, like their the free throw percentage, their height, weight, things like that.
Blood type.
Blood type, sure, yeah.
This is genre-wise, Jessica Jones is a lot of things similar to Daredevil in that it's a guessing game of where in Queens are they filming now. There's no way Hell's Kitchen is that big.
Hell's Kitchen in that universe, it's like a city in itself.
It is.
It's a city.
It is. But you have to understand, Hell's Kitchen, and I know this for a fact, because I've been performing at the Javits Center. I have to go back to the Javits Center tomorrow for a catering gig.
Okay.
Above the Javits Center, next to the McDonald's, is where Hell's Kitchen begins.
Yeah.
But below the massive glass co-op built specifically for Google employees to live, and the dog park, is where it ends. You can walk around Hell's Kitchen in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If you go through the grid, 25 minutes.
Not
it's
this universe.
Part of town. It's not even the warehouses anymore. I had talked about this on We Are the Geek when that show still run, can Daredevil and Jessica Jones show a gritty New York that people only remember from the 90s Ron Perlman Beauty and the Beast live-action series or the Michael Jackson music videos from the 80s?
There's both in my mind right there.
That's not the New York that we have anymore. We have a bit more run-down Wi-Fi-centric New York, but I think they captured it very well. They keep the tone by showing off the city.
All right, so let's get into some spoilers, John. If you want to mute, I don't know what you want to do here. I apologize.
All right, how will you signal me to come back?
We'll
wave at me?
We'll give you a thumbs up or something, all right?
All right, I'll be waiting.
It's going to be about 2 hours from now, okay? So, anyway, he should have watched it. It's his own fault, okay? So, Jessica Jones, I really loved it, man. You were talking about the villain and how he's much more developed than, say, Ultron or something, which I still don't really know what he was trying to accomplish. He's doing something out there. But this show's extremely unique because the villain is not trying to take over the world. It doesn't really mention anything about that.
This is a darker-sided romantic comedy. I remember a French film that it's shown in 2 parts, and the twist is that the first part of the movie is narrated through the girl who's in love with this man who's cheating on her with another woman. The second half of the movie is the man being followed by this woman he's never seen before, trying to kill off him and his wife. Dun, dun, dun. This is a romantic comedy. The villain is just trying to get back with the girl who dumped him, and that is so sick and twisted. But when you see how revisionist Kilgrave is.
Yeah.
That's the chilling part.
Yeah, he's not trying to take over the world. He's trying to dominate one single person, and it's the one person that he can't control. Right at this point, do you think that's part of the attraction?
Yeah,
I can't control her. I dig that.
She told him, "No, there are." For me, Kilgrave is the anti-Tumblr almost. He's the perfect villain to come out right now. This is a rich, wealthy white guy who is just in control because he tells everyone that he is, and no one can stand up to him. But considering the long-term damage he does to everyone that's under his control, because Jessica tells him, basically, everything you did to me was rape. My mind, my past, my future, me, myself.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time because, the fight against PC, the fight against rape culture, all of it culminating in Kilgrave.
Yeah,
and the scariest part is when you almost sympathize with him. Almost.
Really? I don't think I got to that point, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
I saw him as perpetuating a vicious, cruel cycle of abuse.
Right. Yeah, it's really a story that's never been told as far as this genre. And I think it's very important if you're going to have so many superhero shows, so many movies, they have to kind of be different than each other, or it's just going to become goop and boring, So this one completely out of out of left field. Whereas Daredevil is a story about a guy, I want to protect my city, right? I must protect my city, which we've seen a number of times. This is about a superhero that was basically raped, and then now is dealing with, the consequences, the PTSD, the self-loathing that this has caused. And you think that's pretty heavy stuff, man.
I had people come out and try to say that it was tropey, but they would gender reverse the tropes, like the way her friend Trish is. She's got her own penthouse, she's got her degree of success, and then Simpson comes in. He's kind of the dumb blonde of the group, like the dumb. Please save me, please help me. Let you try to save me.
Yeah.
Interesting twist, interesting dynamic. I was okay with the screen time that Simpson got. Yeah, he was super cardboard cutouty the moment he joined Jessica. Because you saw where his arc was going to go, which is the same place that the Abomination went in the Edward Norton Hulk.
Yeah,
basically, because he is Nuke from the comics, essentially.
Yes, from the Daredevil Born Again storyline, which is probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite comic arc ever, right there. One of them, anyway. So
when you become a Marvel fan, Marvel is great because it has many different divisions of heroes. It has its Avengers, it has its X-Men, its Space Party, but for me, Spider-Man's best supporting character has always been the New York City skyline. Marvel talks about and lives in the real current New York. So when they do commentary, they're not made up cities like in DC. Marvel is on the streets of New York, and that's what I always loved about it. They're street level, they're heroes for hire, they're people with powers, not Superman-level powers. They're just strong enough to get through and just good enough to not end the worst people of the day. And you get that. You get that with Luke Cage. You get that with Jessica Jones. These are not good guys. They're not trying to be good guys.
Damaged.
They're damaged. They're learning as they go. I really enjoyed Luke Cage's performance.
Oh, excellent. Let me ask you this question. How do you feel about the fact that it's tied to the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe? I typically really like that, and I love continuity. I love that kind of thing. But there were points where I was thinking, because no one would believe that a guy could control your mind. And they even say on the show, we have aliens, we have the big green dude. Why won't you believe this?
And his team. They never refer to the Avengers.
Right.
They show that kid dressed as Captain America. But I love that New York has not given the Avengers their proper due, their thanks for saving them. And I love that talk. When those aliens invaded, I tried pulling my mother out of that collapsed building. What they never talk about are the multitudes of people that must die. In the Marvel universe, New York real estate must be super cheap, and the only way to make money is to sell Hulk and X and mutant insurance.
At this
because
point,
the city gets destroyed every other week.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So what do you think it adds to the show that's tied to the overall universe, or do you think it would be better if it was like the Netflix shows are kind of contained in themselves, or What's your opinion on that?
I would be fine either way. My preference is given their budget, because I don't want to see Daredevil and Jessica Jones like on screen with Robert Downey Jr. and the whole 3D green screen of the Iron Man suit. Let that be its own thing.
Yeah.
I want to see deal with, because their resources limit them to how they solve problems. They can't just do what Tony Stark should have done in the third Iron Man movie, call S.H.I.E.L.D., wipe this problem clean up.
Yeah, I remember talking to him because I think we were filming stuff like right after that came out. And I'm like, why did they call this guy? It really becomes difficult as you keep adding elements to the universe. Yeah. And then you always have to kind of keep track of what are we doing and like how does this make sense? How does this affect something else we did in the past?
Yeah, because if you have Thor and Nick Fury on speed dial, where is the problem? What could possibly bother you other than like a bankruptcy? Jones and Cage are limited. They still must be private detectives. And you also see that Jones is really smart. The multiple fake phone calls that she makes to lead and bait people on.
She's a great actor. She's a great actress. She could do that, I think.
She's a great actress.
She should be doing that instead of the PI thing.
Yeah. She's also like, I think she's hot. I think it's great to see
absolutely.
I think it's great to see a grown up, desensitized Janine Garofalo and Daria with super strength.
That's a great way of putting it, man.
I like them both.
Very nice. So, overall, I thought Daredevil was a little tighter with the story, as you mentioned before. You know, it was kind of, it kind of became that, mouse chase kind of thing. But I see most people say that Jessica Jones actually like the second half more. They prefer. I actually like the first couple episodes the most. It had that element of just creepiness, and you don't really, before you kind of understand everything.
Before
the early ones,
before you know Kilgrave, and you just have to go on Jessica Jones's word.
You're like, what is going on? This is crazy, right? It was very creepy. It was very mysterious to me. So I like that.
Film techniques, given their budget, so beautifully describe anxiety and PTSD. I've had people with social anxiety and people with those conditions admit it was the first time someone ever did it right on film.
Okay.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, you didn't know what was coming around the corner. It was, who's who to trust here. What did you feel about the lesbian divorce angle that was going on there? Did you find that interesting?
Now, Kat pointed out the parallels between that and the power relationship struggle that is Jessica and Kilgrave. They set up those parallels right away. That Kilgrave and Hargrave,
I don't even know I can't remember what her name was.
Lawyer lady.
Yes.
That they're clearly going to have
woman.
something together. It's going to be venomous. It's going to be toxic. But they are solipsistic people to begin with. They are both dangerous, manipulative narcissists. I love the Netflix shows because unlike the CW, which just hires models literate enough to read cue cards because they're young and hot, they will hire actors, older female actors, give them a shot, give them chops, give them roles. I felt so bad for the lawyers going through their divorce. I loved seeing older women actresses come on screen and be human, be these incredibly interesting people. Then I turn on CW. Oh, look, hot people doing relationship drama.
Yeah, I feel like
if only Dawson's Creek hadn't ruined it for me.
I feel like the CW stuff is like Silver Age comics. Whereas the Marvel Netflix is like mid-'80s Frank Miller, Alan Moore comics or something.
There you have it.
That kind of
the
vibe.
Vertigo comics of the 90s.
Yeah, Vertigo. But I still like the Flash and Arrow show. It's very different. Like for instance, on Flash, a character will ask out a random person at a coffee shop, and then she winds up being Hawkgirl. Like that was a storyline, but you kind of accept it because it's just how the show is.
Okay.
But they do stuff like that, which wouldn't fly on like the Netflix shows, you know. But
no. Like even if they had Mark Ruffalo in the background, like eating a churro on the subway.
Yeah. Like CW would do that.
You would feel weird believing that.
Right. The CW would do stuff like that, I think. Right. Just have people show up.
The moment that like an Avenger pops in, suddenly they can just solve the problem, which was you knew that Jones and Luke Cage eventually they had to throw down. It was just a necessity.
Yeah.
You knew he was gonna get Kilgrave.
Yeah.
The hardest part is the long con that Kilgrave is, and the worst part is when Jones's paranoia pays off. That's when it hurts the most. because that's when you see Kilgrave is thinking ahead to how does he hurt her the most? How does he take away all of her resources, all of the people, well, Patsy, that she cares about?
I agree with what you said earlier. I think it could have been maybe a couple less episodes. It got to the point where it was like they caught him so many times, and then he just somehow always kind of gets away. I feel like it kind of made him look a little. He kind of looked a little weak and kind of towards the end there.
I'll tell you one thing that I'm looking forward to
Yes.
is Eccleston came in to be a villain for Thor, and Tennant came in to be a villain for Jessica Jones. When will Matt Smith step in to be a villain for something like he should come on as like the new Vulture or like the Walrus and try to fight whoever's Spider-Man next?
Well, there's gonna be roles for everyone eventually because they're pumping this stuff out like crazy. I mean, who knows? There might be a nuke show at this point. I mean, they're just printing money out there, man. How do you feel about the very end? Some people complained they didn't want to see him die. What's your take on that? Some people like you should have ripped his throat out and let him live with the fact that he can't control people. What's your take?
It breaks my heart to kill off someone that fascinating. It had to happen.
I agree.
It also breaks my heart that Jessica had to prove Nuke right.
Yeah.
However, she never set up the moral argument that we have to keep him alive because killing him would be wrong. No, she's always wanted him dead. She only kept him alive because it kept Hope alive and Hope safe. Oh, that's the most heavy-handed part about this show. That's the creepy downstairs neighbor to keep Hope alive. But once Hope just goes, no, kill him, please. Bam, bam. Now you can kill him. You have the world and the universe's blessing to snap this jackass's neck.
Yeah, I agree. I think he had to go, and you could always. Since it's a virus, other people can get it, and then maybe they could control people if you really want to like keep it alive somehow. But he had to go. But the one scene I did not like was the upstairs neighbor when she kind of riled up the group to go attack Jessica. That was a little crazy. And then she hit her with like a 2x4.
She goes at Jessica with a bloody 2x4.
And all the people that just attacked her, like they broke the door down. Like it was just a little.
These are people that she pulled together. I mean, it makes sense that someone would point out, how do we know who is and isn't Kilgrave? Maybe she's been Kilgrave the whole time.
Yeah, but they got very crazy.
Guys back together. But that doesn't make people attack a woman with superpowers.
Yeah, it was a little much, I think. But that was one of the times he escaped.
That would have been a great time for, say, her neighbor, the recovering drug addict, to come out and say, "Don't! She's special. She's like the Avengers. She's got super strength. She'll rip you apart." That would have been a great time to like publicly divulge that and have it be a moment of, whoa, she's one of them. Now we feel even less comfortable around her. Isolate, shun, push the witch out, set up the stake. However, she basically already does that to herself anyway.
They set up so many characters. I love how they do this, man. Like Trish's Hellcat in the comics later on, and then of course Simpson, who says Nuke. Yeah. So I just love how they can just kind of pull from that history and like sprinkle little things in here and kind of set some things up, and that's really wonderful, man. I love that stuff. The last episode on Netflix has a description, and the description says Jessica gets help from someone in the neighborhood. So before I watch it, I'm like, oh, shit, Daredevil's coming into this one, man. He's coming.
I wanted Daredevil because she needs a new lawyer friend now. As a private detective, she needs a lawyer. She needs to basically, like, share a co-op, share a studio apartment with Foggy and Murdoch because she gets into so much legal trouble. She needs those two now. But I was so happy to see it was the nurse that stepped in.
Rosario shows up.
Healer, a reluctant nurturer, another trauma victim. Jessica needed someone to ground her, and I'm glad that they brought in the nurse. They brought in the healer. Also, would have been fine if she hooked up with Luke Cage, because I don't know what it is. Sexuality is more fluid than I ever thought. Because like seeing the man, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
Sweet Christmas. I love the sex scenes too.
Oh, great, excellent.
These two can finally go at it the way that they always needed to.
Yes, that's how it should be.
So they break the bed, and she's like, just keep going.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, and it was if Daredevil shows up and helps, it kind of takes away from her arc, you know what I mean? So she's got to do it on her own. Made sense.
He had to face Kilgrave on her own. Kilgrave is her villain.
Yeah.
He's the world's problem.
He's her personal villain, basically. He's after her alone.
He is her boogeyman. But he's so after her. The last scene on the dock, as rushed and as weird as the writing is, and as, like, dumb as he gets in those last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was a little off.
Come on, you could have just jumped over the mob and, like, snapped my neck now. But when he calls Patsy over, kiss me, and mean it, and he's just looking over her head. I bet you hate this. You hate this because you hurt me, bad person.
Mm-hmm.
It is so neat to see how far he goes with that, and I don't know if anyone besides Tennant could have pulled that off and made him weirdly funny.
Yeah,
made
entertaining
him scary and
sympathetic,
powerful.
like you said, all kinds of things. So
scary and funny you don't balance those two often.
Yeah, so these shows are a joy, man. When they come out, it's amazing. It's a great couple of days of watching stuff and binging out. I love my personal favorite, like, end of an episode was when Luke Cage's bar blows up and he just walks out, or he just falls out. And he's fine, So it's just so cool, man.
He's just on fire. She's trying to put out the fire.
Yes.
It's more to save his clothing than him.
So did you see the Civil War trailer? Or you're not a trailer guy?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay, so we won't really get into that. It's just people fighting each other. Let's get John back in here. I think it's time.
Okay.
John.
Come back.
Hello.
Hi, John.
John, you're still here.
What? No, who, me? No, I was never gone. It was actually kind of funny, like, trying to figure out what you guys were saying and then just your gesticulations, both of you. Like, it looked like Rambo shook the monitor for a second.
It was mostly cursing and, talking about you a lot. That's pretty much what it was.
Very
I do that for the swears.
Okay, so I want to talk to John. Karl, have you ever seen the show Black Mirror? Have you heard of this?
I've not heard of Black Mirror. What is it?
It's a show on Netflix. It's a British show from maybe 2012. It's basically like an updated version of if the Twilight Zone was made today, what it would be. So I highly recommend checking out the first episode. I found out about the show because I was looking at shows that Netflix is creating in the future, and they actually commissioned another season of this show to be on Netflix. So I was like, all right, let me check this out. And it's insane. It's completely insane. I highly recommend this. I had John watch the first episode. Okay. I want to talk about the show a little bit, maybe get your reactions to what we're saying here. And I still recommend watching it, even though we're going to kind of spoil it.
You're going to tell him about, like, the 12th minute in?
Well, it's a show he's never seen or heard of, so I don't think it's from 3 years ago, so I don't think it's really going to spoil much for him. But
yeah, you're fine, guys. Go for it.
Yeah. So, John, why don't you kind of set this up? You haven't talked in a while, so set this up, and this is insane, dude. I still recommend watching it for all you guys out there if you haven't seen it, but go ahead, John.
So, it opens up with... I don't remember exactly how it opens up, but I'm pretty sure it's a man, like, wakes up, his phone's ringing, he's in bed, he's trying to sleep, and he gets a call, and all of a sudden he's kind of freaking out, like, whatever the call was, it's very important, this is some serious business. His wife's like, Joe, what is it? Sorry, honey, I something's come up, blah, 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 I gotta, blah, 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 do stuff. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, nice, loving wife, all that sort of good stuff. And he gets up, oh, he's the Prime Minister of England. And they call him in to a room, they're like, there's a problem. What? Well, I should try not to do any accents because I can't do that.
Don't.
There's a problem. The princess, what's-her-face, has been kidnapped. You mean Princess What's-Her-Face? The one that everybody loves, who's an environmentalist and really smart and beautiful, and everyone loves Princess What's-Her-Face? Yep, that's the one. Okay, just now that everyone knows who we're talking about, yes, Princess What's-Her-Face. And, okay, so has he made... Well, what happened? Well, he's made... The kidnappers made some demands. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And they show him a video.
Yeah.
On a computer screen, and it's the princess freaking out. She's, like, tied to a chair. She's crying, and they tell her, look, you have to read, and she has to read the statement, which says, hello, I am Princess What's-Her-Face. I am being held captive, and unless a certain number of demands are met, I am going to be killed at 4 p.m. today.
Bummer.
And she starts listing off things, and then she eventually goes, and then they pause it, the people who are showing him the video, and say, okay, there's demands. That's pretty standard. That's what happens when a terrorist kidnaps somebody. And they say, well, the demands, they pertain to you directly, sir. They do? And, well, what is it? Play the video. The guy's a little agitated, like, what's going on? This is serious. Like, this is really bad. At 4 p.m. today, she's, like, breaking up. Like, and she's reading, she's like, really? Read the paper! Okay. And she's, like, freaking out. At 4 p.m. today, Prime Minister Franklin must, alone of his own free will, with these detailed instructions will be provided at the end of the video, without any sort of special effects, have sex with a pig
on television.
Yeah,
and it must be brought
on every single station.
Yeah, live on every station with no special effects, and there's certain criteria that had to be met.
A roving camera shot, no cuts.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say something like masticate a shoe fly pie, but screwing a pig is...
Yeah, there's live sex with a pig. The Prime Minister has sex with a pig. So then they try all this different stuff. They try to hire like a porn actor to do it. This kidnapper finds out what's going on. What else did they try, John? Oh, they're gonna try like a special effects. They're gonna put his face on like someone else or something, like special effect. Nothing works. So it comes to a point where it's like almost 4 o'clock. They don't know what to do. Karl, what do you think happens? Do you think the guy decides to do it or not?
I'm trying to think of do they find a loophole with pig and they just pull in like a furry or something,
or just like some ham, or something.
Some ham.
Yeah,
that's necrophilia, bro.
That's true. Yeah. So anyway, he decides he has to do it. So that's what happens in the show. It's completely insane. It's just the way it's set up. Like I'm really not doing it justice. Just the suspense of this, and just the facial expressions, and just bringing the man down this hallway and into a studio where the pig is sitting there eating, and the guy just starts slowly taking his pants off, and they show everyone in the country is just glued to the television, bars and homes, and people are just like freaked out by this. And he takes his pants off, and all the people start cheering at home. And then he starts doing it, and then they show the people again, and then all of a sudden they're just disgusted and grossed out by this, and then just that reaction of, we thought this would be fun, but it's really disgusting and sad.
That's the pig thought, too.
And then there's a point where, some time goes by, and then one of the people watching is like, my God, he's been at it for 45 minutes. Because part of the criteria is that he has to do it to completion. He has to have sex with the pig to completion as part of the rules. They show the guy's face.
Oh, that's just not fair.
It's disgusting. And they show the guy's face doing it, the Prime Minister's face, and he's it's like crying, but also trying to be pleasured by this at the same time. It's amazing. This acting is incredible, man.
Because that had to be part of the audition process.
Yes.
We need you to imagine to reluctantly having a pig to save a woman's life.
Yeah.
And there just must have been someone who raised their hand and said, "We've got this.
We got this guy."
Have you met my wife?
You got to watch this. You got to watch it, man. Even though you know what's happening here, it's just the way it's done is so amazingly well done. So obviously he does it. He completes it, and then they just show him in a stall, just puking and crying. And what happens is they find out that the princess was released 20 minutes before he actually did the deed, but everyone was so glued to the television that the entire city, no one knew. The guy just let her loose in the middle of the city, and no one knew that she was released. So, basically this guy was proving a point about, I don't know, it was like an artistic vision or something, how he was proving that people are, obsessed with media or something like that, Exactly. So, the advisors to the Prime Minister find out, she was released 20 minutes before he even did it, and they're like, do not tell the Prime Minister this, seal the file. And they go
As
to
he's like smoking.
No, he's like vomiting, and they go to him and they're like, "You saved her. She's been released after you did it, just like they said." And then they fast forward to maybe was it a year later, John? 2 years later?
Yeah.
A year later.
It's like a year later, and the prime minister is like, people consider him to be a hero. He saved the princess, right?
Yeah, he's hanging out. He's out in public with his wife, and everyone's all smiley, like, "Yeah, you're a hero." Yeah. His scores have never been higher in the polls.
Yeah, he's like very popular. He's like a hero. He saved her, and then they show him like at a cavalcade. They go down the street. He goes into his home, into the bedroom where the wife is, and his wife just looks at him like he's the most disgusting piece of crap that exists on the earth. And then it just goes to credits.
Yeah, once they get inside, the wife just goes, like...
once they're
starts
alone.
Trying to say something to the wife, and the wife just goes upstairs and leaves him.
Yeah, so that's
Once the cameras are gone.
that's the show. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
So I guess...
You gotta watch this later today. I think you'll like it.
I mean, a different episode, yeah. Because you spoiled it.
Yeah, but I would still recommend watching it. It's really well done. But there's I think there's a couple episodes, so I'm interested to see what the other ones have. I saw the second one, which I like too. But it's a great show. My God, it's so good, so well done. So there you go. Pig sex. What would you have done in that situation, John?
I mean, this had to have been done either prior to or directly because they might have found out about. Sorry to cut you off, OJ, but I mean, did you guys follow the David Cameron thing? The new
Yes,
Prime Minister?
I think it was based on that, maybe, or something like, or it was taken from that in some way. Yeah,
There must be something, dude.
it was influenced by it for sure. Yeah,
Something magical about pigs. Like maybe pigs are for the English what sheep are for the Scottish and Welsh.
Okay, are you just trying to make me not want to visit because everyone's going to just be having sex with farm animals?
I mean, that shouldn't dissuade you at all.
no, that's a plus. I'd like to see some of that stuff.
With all
Some
the
photos?
distilleries you're visiting.
Mm. John, would you have sex with the pig, or would you let her die? I think you're gonna let her die, aren't you? Come on. In real life, it wouldn't happen.
Negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, in real life, they would never make the guy do that. I don't think, Maybe
I just
not.
think
But...
terrorists would have so much more to do with it. It just sounds like something that eventually ISIS would step up and say, "Hey, we're taking responsibility for that. We did that," and then Anonymous just dumps a bunch of fake pig heads all over the Middle East.
Yes.
They just well, instead of photoshopping duck heads over terrorist images,
Mm-hmm.
which they did.
There you go. So, friends, wrapping us up here. It's a good one. It's a long one. Thanks for you guys. Karl did a lot of talking today, which is good because my mic was not on point. So, carrying us here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Rambo. Thank you so much. Great to see you guys again.
Yeah, man. It's always fun. So, of course, we got to put out there one more time. Check out Karl, Uncle Yo, at Uncle Yo on Twitter, YouTube, Uncle Yo. Check out the series, Dungeon Crawlers. Take a look at the first season if you haven't seen it before. If you have seen it before, it's quality stuff. If you like it, man, head over to the Kickstarter. I'll put the link in the description of this video.
Better.
And
any likes or shares that you guys can while you have the time, speaking directly out to the fans, any likes or posts or shares, all of it's appreciated. And even a like and a post and a share, it's 3 seconds of your time, and it just gives people the heads up. It just gives YouTube and Kickstarter, gives all of the Google bots and analytics following me. It lets them know people like original content. People can, and nerds and RPG geeks and even puppetry fans, they know what they want.
That's right, man. You got a couple days. Saturday, the Kickstarter ends. So if you can, give anything to help out, man, and support some independent content, please do. Please see what you can do. And we wish you the best with that, Karl, man. Come back and let us know how it goes soon. And, of course, Sylvester Stallone is out there raising money for his stuff. I don't think he needs the money. So instead of buying the pants from Demolition Man, maybe you could support some independent content out there. And there you go. So, Karl, any final words for the people out there?
Exactly as I sign off on all my shows. It's been impossible to do any of this without the support of viewers like you. I mean, we're independent artists. We scrape by just trying to make it as best we can, but we're driven to make it. We're content creators. We think we can do it better, so we try. Thank you so much for everything. It's always going to be those two words. And, of course, live, laugh, and glom.
That's right. OJ, if you will, say goodbye to the beautiful people out there.
Have a wonderful whatever time of period it is right now for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, we're always happy to have Uncle Yo here, so you all had better go out and support him because he's awesome and hilarious and a pretty cool dude.
And OJ, have a great trip. Come back safe, okay? You promise?
Thank you.
You promise you're going to come back to us?
I'll try to bring all my limbs.
All right.
Don't get any of them stuck in a pig.
This has been a production of STAYBALLSY.com, the best in free and optional entertainment. Have a pleasant evening, and remember, stay ballsy. Don't take any shit from anyone.